Why is our right to vote important? It seems like such a simple question with an easy answer. And yet, despite that, according to the United States Census Bureau, there was an estimated amount of 40.6 million people who did not vote in 2020. This shows to me that there are many people who either do not understand or who are outright ignoring the importance of our right to vote. That is why in this speech I would like to go over the importance and why it would be a mistake to ignore this right. That importance being from either how it could affect ourselves or the people around us, and how our inaction could lead to policies that we may not agree with. Of course, one of the most important aspects of our right to vote is that it allows us to elect a leader who will go on to represent not only our country, but also ourselves and our ideals. Our right to vote allows us to have a part in choosing who we believe will have our best interest in mind and will uphold our values as a society. This is important because it also ensures that we, the people, have a say in who will lead us, so that we do not end up with a president who will make decisions that we do not agree with. This alone provides a good reason to vote, as each election there will always be a candidate who you would personally prefer to win over the others. Now, this may be because you agree with their policies, which could greatly affect your life and the lives of the people around you. Or you may vote on the basis of how good of a person that you believe that candidate to be. For example, some candidates may have policies in mind that could end up raising taxes, leading to yourself and other families having to pay more money to the government, which would greatly affect many families across the country. As currently there is estimated to be over 10 million Americans who owe back taxes, and there are likely many others who are just barely teetering on the edge of joining that number. So a raise in taxes would likely push many more families either into or further into poverty. Then there are policies that might not directly affect you, but that you may feel strongly about, such as immigration, foreign policies, regulations, or social freedoms. These are just a few examples of how the policies of the people who we vote into office can affect our lives or the lives of others. This shows the importance of voting, as there are many more policies that can be enacted to affect us. And so it would be best to vote so that the policies that are enacted are ones that we ourselves agree with and believe in. Although I do understand that there may be reasons that someone may choose not to vote, such as believing that your vote alone would not have much power in the grand scheme of things. Or they may choose not to vote because they don't like any of the candidates, or they just simply have no interest in politics or the election. while I understand that these people have their reasons, I find these reasons to be preposterous. I find these reasons to be preposterous because even if you do not like any of the candidates, there will always be one who is better off than the others. I understand that it may seem like the saying of pick your poison, as you may not like them at all, but some of their policies might affect you more than the others. Then simply not being interested in the election. It may not be the most interesting thing, but the ramifications of not voting could be great, as the policies that may end up being enacted may not be ones that you and your family agree with. And so, this is why I believe that it would be a mistake for people to ignore their right to vote. Then, touching upon the reasoning of feeling that your vote may not be important in the grand scheme of things, there have been elections in which the results were very close. For example, in 2000, George Bush versus Al Gore, the results were 271 to 266. In this case, just a few more of those votes could potentially have changed the outcome of that election, and in turn changed the course of American history. While yes, maybe a single vote might not tip the scales, with the data of 40.6 million people not voting in 2020, those 40.6 million people could have had a major sway in the election, and yet none of them chose to vote. So in conclusion, I believe that it would be a mistake to ignore our right to vote, and it is important to inform people on the importance of their right, because the ramifications of not knowing could end up greatly affecting you or the lives of people around us.